Overall, though, I would say gunplay is really fun in this game. I like all the weapons in it. I use the MP5, the Jackal, the XM4, AK-74.
Like your friends, go tell them to play that game. They talk about complaining about, dude, it's so hard to aim. Bro, Black Ops 6 ain't that hard to aim. You just got to get good, bro. That's all it is.
Yeah, you got to play more. And the aim assist isn't going to help you that much, especially if you're playing against someone with decent movement. I've already had my head spun around on Skyline where someone like dives over me and then I'm like, holy, it just kills me.
Welcome, everybody, to episode number 186 of the COD Casuals podcast. We're your host, Mike.
I'm Justin.
Justin, how we doing, bro?
Doing pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, why we doing good?
It's a Labor Day. Got the day off. And Black Ops 6 beta's been out for the weekend so far. So, I mean, by the time you guys are listening to this, the open beta's been out. So, I mean, everyone's enjoying it. Haven't really heard any bad news about the beta. Besides like the movement, which I already predicted that like a couple episodes ago. But other than that, I'm doing pretty good.
Hell yeah, dude. I was going to say, it's a beautiful day this Memorial Day weekend. It's like the weather is absolutely phenomenal.
Labor Day weekend.
Labor Day. Memorial Day. I get them mixed up.
Dang. Cooked. Bro, Memorial Day's in May.
Bro, all I know is it's a day I don't got to be at school. That's all I know at the end of the day for me. My apologies. But I was going to say about it, though, honestly, it's been a good day and it's been a good weekend, bro, because we've been playing this quite a bit. I mean, honestly, let's not waste any time because we got a lot to unpack this episode talking about this. I really don't even know where to start, honestly, just with like first impressions of this. I was like we've talked about in episodes before, I was expecting this to be, relatively successful. I think we both knew that there were going to be problems with it. But honestly, I'm pretty impressed that the problems were pretty much nil. Like there were very few issues that I was encountering that made it unplayable or made the experience like really bad. I thought this early access beta that we had was like insane. This has just made it worse for me because now when we have to go back to MW3, I'm going to be even more devastated because this beta is so good.
Yeah, and it's still going for us right now. And they already updated the beta with like a new game mode, and again, Treyarch, they just know what they're doing. They did a great job at launch, when you load straight into the beta, everyone got that, that message of like, welcome to the beta. Things will be fixed in this beta. That's the whole point of the beta. And I guess like one thing I want to point out was Omnimovement. That's like one thing it's new to everyone.
Yeah, and we'll start with that.
We've seen clips of the Omnimovement and, we've only seen clips of the cracked people using it. And Omnimovement's great. It's awesome. It's just a faster COD, like what COD should be. And the only thing that not Omnimovement specifically, it's just the tac sprint. Like they integrate a tac sprint well with Omnimovement, but I feel like if the tac sprint wasn't in this, it'd be more fluent for most people that can like play the game, because it's so weird that like you're already automatically sprinting. Like you have full on sprint, like auto sprint all the time. But then when you tac sprint, you have this weird, like you're faster just straight. But then when you try to strafe to the right or left or backwards, it goes back to your regular sprint because you're not tac sprinting like left, right, or backwards. But that's probably a mechanic Treyarch just had to work around because it's in Warzone and all the other CODs. But overall, though, I like Omnimovement a lot. It's a lot of fun, makes the game very fast, which you and I both like love. No, I see some clips of like old heads that are trying to play this, and they're getting cooked. Let's just say that they cannot keep up.
Right. Yeah, I think I was surprised by the Omnimovement in the sense that I thought it was going to be way more of a shakeup actually playing it than it really was. Um, that being said, it is only the open beta with this, or early access, I should say. So I know my skill level is nowhere near to its potential as to like where I will be months from the release of it. Um, but I thought I was going to be playing this and be like, oh my God, like this is so difficult to play. Or it's just so new to me. Um, but I was able to pick it up pretty quickly. You know, like some of the basic mechanics of being able to, like being able to dive and shoot at the same time, and being able to, like, when you dive, you can lean on the side and hold, and doing, like, 360s and stuff. Um, it was weird. I talked to you when we first played it because they had a like a tutorial on how to go and use Omni movement. I couldn't click it. And I tried
Mhm.
it today. I still can't. I don't know why. Like it just, for whatever reason, doesn't work for me, which is, I don't know if that's something somebody else has experienced, but regardless, yeah, it's like it's pretty intuitive. Like it's nothing crazy where it's like, oh, if you don't watch that tutorial, you're gonna have no idea how to do it. For us who've been playing for a while, it was pretty easy to just kind of be like, oh yeah, if you're going to be like, sprinting sideways, you can go and just tap R3, and then you're going to dive that way or dive backwards. Um, but I have not been able to, I don't know if you have, I have not been able to implement that into my like gunfights very
Mhm.
much. Like that to me, I was telling you this morning, I came across that. That's another level where I'm like, Jesus Christ, like I can't compete with that yet.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, my skill level in this game is not where it's. This is going to be the lowest point where it's going to be.
Yeah, for sure.
But I was telling you in the beginning, like, right, it's a new mechanic, so everyone's just diving and shooting. I think people do it too much because, like, it's new, so I get why people are doing it. But I've like been slowing down on it. I use it like situationally, mainly just diving around like corners and stuff. But which even then, like, it replaces jumping, but I'm still used to jumping around corners and things like that. I've like dived backwards a couple times, but it's very situational. I think most of the time, it's just a regular COD, and you know, if I'm a little too cracked, I'll like sprint somewhere and then just dive straight around the corner to check. But for the most part, I'm just playing COD like I normally do, where I'll like strafe around the corner, I'll jump around the corner.
Yeah, that's usually what I do too. Like I use it very situationally. I still can't get used to. I mean, I still can't. Like again, it's only been a couple of days, but it's hard for me to kind of process that at some point I'm going to be in a gunfight moving, and I have to tap that like R3 to dive and do that in a direction while I'm trying to like engage in a gunfight. To me, right now, that just seems so strange. Because
Mm-hmm.
there's times where I've done it, and I'm like, why isn't it working? I'm like, oh, I'm a moron. Like I'm hitting L3,
Mm-hmm.
not R3. So it feels weird mechanically to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which again, I had a couple of, like, there's been maybe two or three guys I've come across now that like they've got that down. They've been like meticulously working at that, and they're really good at it.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, I think Omni Movement is going to be something where it's really used like that. If you're going to be a submachine gun player, like in those tight quarters like gunfights, it's going to be used a lot at a pro level. But I don't know if it's going to get to the point in pubs where people are going to be like absolute aces with this. I'd honestly be surprised if people do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I mean, when you dive, you're shooting at an angle. So I mean, if you do it a lot, I'm sure you'll get used to it. But you know, when you're coming around, first off, you're probably using it around a corner where you don't even know if an enemy's going to be there, and you're just kind of predicting that they're in the center of your screen, but they might not be every time when you dive around the corner. But overall, like, the dive mechanic's good. There's a bunch of different settings that you can go and change. That some people use, like tap to slide, tap to dive. Like, there's a bunch of stuff that um, pros are using, and most people's probably like tap to slide. But I know a lot of pros are on hybrid. I can't get down with that. Like, you met. I'm pretty sure R3 is the hybrid to dive. Like,
Yeah.
I don't do that. I cannot get used to that. I just dive with circle.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably what I'll end up switching to. Because I think whatever it is, whatever setting I have, like if it's hybrid or if that is some setting that carried from MW3, I never
Yeah,
bothered to change it. Um, but
I
yeah,
keep it default.
yeah, but because again, like in MW3, it's not a problem, obviously, because it's not a thing.
Mhm.
But doing it in this game, and like even in MW3, I don't even have it where you dive. I think I got rid of the dive completely. Um, but in this, if I'm going to be using that, like eventually, like running the sub and trying to be, like just have some thought with it, I don't know if I'm ever going to get used to that. Because then, bro, I'm also going to cook my right stick, like,
Yeah, yeah. I
and
mean,
I
the
can't I
controller's
can't
gonna the
keep
controller's
combining
gonna get
stuff.
cooked no matter what with
Yeah,
this game. The amount of inputs, because you're putting a lot of stress on your left stick now too, with the
yeah.
sprinting like backwards, left and right.
Oh
So,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, the controller's gonna get a lot of work in this year.
It was funny. I was playing yesterday, and my friend I was telling you about, he was playing with me. Not, but he wasn't playing Black Ops 6. He was playing some other game, and
Hmm.
he's like, "Dude," he's like, "I hear you grinding away over there." I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Dude, your controller." I hear you just like like
Yeah.
clicking away, doing all this
Hmm.
stuff. And I was like, "Oh yeah, man, like for sure. I'm doing all these crazy button inputs just to try to get the movement down, you know."
Hmm.
Um, so I don't know. We'll see how long the scuff holds out for. Hopefully like, into season 3 or 4 if they end up doing that before it
Lot,
ends up
yeah.
completely getting fucked.
Hopefully it goes long enough. But
Yeah.
yeah, the big thing is that dive and shoot. Like literally everyone's just doing it right now, but I'm sure that'll slow down eventually. But there have been more times where I've tried to dive and shoot and it costed me when I could have just ran around the corner, like just normally run around the corner or walk around the corner, and I would kill the person. But
Yeah.
obviously, everyone's like just flying through like windows, like the highest point on the map, trying to do trick shots and just trying to world star someone. Which, I mean, sometimes it pans out. I would say the majority of the time, for most people, it doesn't pan out.
Right.
But it's it's something fun.
Yeah, and I'm in this, like, limbo where I have the way that I play and I know it works, but now there's a bunch of, like, I say a bunch, but there's a few new mechanics that are added, and I'm thinking in gunfights, I'm like, "Should I try that because that eventually will be the optimal way to do this gunfight, or should I just always stick to what I know because like I know that works, you
Mhm.
know? Like I want to use that omni movement to its full potential, but there's a lot of times like again that diving sideways or like diving into just like any direction into a gunfight for me feels so weird. I'm
Yeah.
still going to like the sliding and shooting for me is so much more natural or just jumping around the corner and doing it,
Mhm.
I don't think I'll ever abandon those.
Yeah, yeah, no. I mean, the diving I think is just so situational because if you're playing against anyone that's decent, if you just dive around the corner and you miss your first couple of shots, you're probably dying
Yeah.
because you're not shooting straight. You're shooting at an angle, and then you hit the ground. And if you hit the ground and you don't finish the person, you're probably dead against
Yeah.
like a decent player.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where um I think eventually it'll get to that point where like when ranked comes out, um there's going to be that wall where everybody is diving,
Mhm.
and everyone's sliding into gunfights like people aren't jumping because if you're doing that, it's if I had to guess it's probably not going to be as optimal anymore. Um cuz I've felt that before like just playing this for a little bit. Dude, there's some people who are really good at it and they fucking break my camera. Like
Mhm.
I'm shooting circles and I'm just like, "Oh my god, like
Mhm.
it's bad." You know? And some of them are doing it intentional and some of them are just like mashing buttons and they have
Yeah.
no idea.
Mhm.
Um, but I think it'll get to that point, where there's gonna be
Yeah.
like the diamonds and ranked are gonna be really good.
Yeah, yeah. The skill, I mean, it does create a pretty good skill gap with, that movement. But for most people, I think that it's a mechanic that it's going to be used every now and then, but for the most part, if you do try to use it, it's going to cost you unless you hit your shots right away.
Right.
But yeah, and then also the slide's nothing new, but now it's a long slide, which we had for, I want to say it was in Cold War and Vanguard wasn't a long slide, but normal side, at least in MW3, MW2, was pretty like it was quick and really short. This like you hit circle or R3, whatever your slide button is, and you just go for a while, which is
Yeah.
super nice. But you can slide cancel out of it at any time you want, which
Yeah.
is awesome.
Yeah, I love the slide mechanic, like that long slide you're talking about. It's so nice to have that back.
Mm.
And especially too that like I was saying before, you can go and shoot while you're doing it. Um, that messes with people so much, and that's that benefit. Like if there was ever an ad for Scuff, it would be that.
Yeah.
Like, bro, if you're going to be trying to slide and shoot at the same time, like, dude, it's so easy to do when you have a Scuff.
Mhm.
And again, trying to like jump out of it and like slide cancel, it's so easy.
Mhm.
Um, I was really surprised overall with this movement how fluid it was. Um, Regardless, like there were people who were breaking cameras and doing some crazy stuff, but there weren't any real hiccups with it when I was playing. Like everything just it worked so well.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
And
you know,
the not to interrupt, but
no, you're good.
the slide with the scuff, like if you have a scuff and you're diving and shooting, that helps a lot. But again, like it's still hard. Like even having a scuff and doing that.
Yeah,
So I can't even imagine trying to do that mechanic with a regular controller and you just play, like default and then shoot at the same time. Uh, like that's already hard.
yeah,
Which is why I think most people aren't gonna be. They're gonna be using that very situationally.
yeah, for sure. There's gonna be that skill gap, and there's gonna be that paywall gap for the people who are willing to shell out,
Mhm.
$200 to get the scuff to do that. Or people who play claw. If you do it like that, I guess you could, but
Yeah.
I don't know a ton of like people who play the game just for fun who are
Mhm.
playing claw. They take it pretty seriously. Um, Something I was going to add before that I haven't even thought about, and I don't even know if it's like it must be a setting that's in there. Do you remember when they showed in the like multiplayer trailer talking about the movement how they have that um like button minimizer thing, like the lack of inputs that you have to put in, you could just do like
Oh yeah,
one
yeah, yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, I
I
haven't even looked at that.
I it's weird. I tried it.
Yeah, what'd you
You
think
don't
about it?
you don't have control.
Really?
Like you just like when I turned it on. Well, one I didn't know what it was, so I just turned it on. No, and your character like just moves like without you doing anything. Like they
Really?
just automatically run, and then if you want to stop, like you have to pull your like normally, like you pull your L
Mhm.
stick, and
Yeah.
then you move left to right. Move your L stick, but yeah, like your character just goes, and you don't need to enter in so many inputs. Like when you slide can, if you hit circle, you you do your normal slide, and then you go straight into your like running. And then if you do the dive, you hold circle, you go into your dive, your character automatically gets up like right after.
Hmm.
So you don't need to do the whole like I guess like what most people do. You move your left stick and then you just stop. Like it's
Yeah.
always fluid. There's no clunkiness about it, which I would say 99% of the people, everyone's just clunky because you're
Right.
choosing to stop your character when you have this setting on. Like your character's always moving and always just getting up after dives and slides.
I don't know if I like that.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like you
Yeah.
don't have control your character. Well, you do, but uh, it gives an edge for people that can't input everything as much, like as fast, or like no, not even that. Well, that and if you're not mechanically gifted. Not saying that we're gifted, but like
We've got the reps though.
yeah, yeah, like the average person moving from left to right in COD, like that helps with that
Right.
because you can just because you're already sprinting. So now if you move your left trigger, like you're sprinting left, or left stick, then you move your right stick or left stick to right, you're sprinting there too. Like your
Right.
character's just going. Whereas for us, we would have to click in and then sprint and then hold it in to go left and right back.
Yeah, I totally see what you're saying with it. It's cool, but Man, fuck that. Like for me, I if I'm gonna make a mistake in my movement, I want it to be on me. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
like I
yeah.
want to. I always want to have complete control over what I'm doing
Mhm.
all the time when I'm playing COD. You know, and like I said, all those button inputs, dude. It would be sick to have like an actual camera, just aimed down and looking. And I wonder how many actual button inputs go on in one life.
Mhm.
Like it honestly, it probably surprised us as to how much we're actually doing just within like, being alive for, I don't know, 20 seconds in a game or like in one life to see what you do.
Yeah.
It's probably insane because I never obviously look down at my hand and see what I'm doing.
Yeah, yeah.
But if I was holding a controller and all I was doing was just that and
Yeah.
like trigger, that would check me. I'm like, what am I playing right now?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know how many people are going to use this feature. Again, I think it is helpful for people that already aren't good at movement in
Yeah,
COD. Again, it makes it more fluid. Like, yeah, there is that slight delay where you dive and shoot, and then your character gets up because like you have to actually make your character get up. And this is just like you dive, just go straight into the sprint.
right, right.
Uh, but yeah, the movement overall though, I enjoy it a lot. Uh, Again, only thing is the stupid tax sprint. I can deal with it, but I think this movement would be even better if there wasn't tax sprint, or if you could tax sprint left, right, and backwards, because you can only tax sprint straight. And I think it's weird when you're full tax sprint and then you stop, and it causes that slight delay, and then you're in just a normal sprint, and you can only do that like all the way around. But the
Yeah,
tax sprint is only straight.
it slows the game down so much for me. Like when I
Yeah.
do that, it just feels very weird. Like it
Mhm.
throws off the pacing. Um, but again, I wonder what the game would even feel like if you were at that full sprint going sideways. Like that would be crazy,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
So maybe it's honestly a good thing that it doesn't even do that. Because can you imagine
I
people just full on sprinting sideways? Like
Yeah,
it'd
I
be
mean, like,
nuts.
yeah, it would be an even faster COD. Which I
Yeah.
mean, I personally would take that over, uh, like that slight delay. Like,
Yeah.
I think the solution is take out tax sprint completely,
Of
because
course.
then it's just fluid all the way around. But yeah, and the depending what weapon you use too, tax sprint is slightly different. The animation's different, and that can impact a player visually, because tax sprint now it's whatever gun you have, like it comes up and you just run.
Right.
In this, if you have an AR, your gun is pointing down when you're tax sprinting, and then you bring your weapon up.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
very different.
Yeah. I mean, overall, like I don't know why they keep. I mean, I do know why they keep adding tax sprint, but I don't get why there isn't just this conceited effort now to like totally get rid of it because I don't think really anybody wants tax sprint in there. Like that was one of the biggest complaints that I see all the time when talking about this game, and it's not even just a game like a game issue itself. It's like a Call of Duty now. It just
Mhm.
every game has tax sprint in it, and people are sick of it. Like I just want one sprint speed, and that's
Yeah,
it. I
yeah,
don't
and
have to be worrying about trying to mash my controller in or mash my left stick in all the time to be able to do it.
yeah.
Um, you
Just
know,
make the game fast, and that's what they did with this. Just take tax sprint out,
yeah,
but obviously, MW19 caused that, and
yeah, exactly. We
Cold
can
War
thank
was
that
just
game.
yeah, Cold War was a anomaly for that
Yeah,
because it just didn't listen. But
yeah, and like this game too. Like before we hop off the movement, like this game really does feel like Cold War. Like it's got that
mhm,
similar kind of vibe to it. But it does have that Cold War, feel to it when I'm playing. Which I really like. Again, it is very fast, but I don't know. It's hard to say with like because you know what I'm talking about when there's weight in a game like
mhm,
this. It's like the perfect amount. Like your character feels like a little heavy, and you could tell with certain guns. Like when you use the AK-74 compared to when you use the Jackal, like you can feel that difference. But
yeah,
it's not to the point where it still feels arcadey.
mhm,
It's not too much where I'm over here playing Battlefield. You know,
yeah. Which is why I think people like people that are into competitive, and just play a lot of COD, I feel like they enjoy Treyarch games way more because of that feeling.
Mhm.
But other like the rest of the people, I think enjoy the like Infinity Ward games and the Sledgehammer games more because they're smoother. Like if you go back and play MW3, this MW3, it's a lot like smoother. You don't feel that weight and like clunkiness of Black Ops, which I mean, it's all preference, but I think the clunkiness of Black Ops creates a bigger skill gap than the smoothness, I guess, of the Infinity Ward like Sledgehammer games. And that's one thing I've seen people complain about. But if you don't play a COD a lot, like that's a stupid reason to complain about it
Yeah.
because that's why a lot of people didn't like Cold War. I think a lot of casual player, like the people that play, I don't know, like 2-3 times like a week, that just with their friends, they're not going to like this game as much compared to like MW2 and MW3
Yeah. I can
because
see
those are
that.
the same people that didn't like Cold War when Cold War was clearly the best COD since 2019.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're saying. I mean, they definitely just have a different feel to them overall. And we were talking about that too when we went and played this. Like compared to MW3, like obviously it's the full game, and this is just an early access beta. But we were saying like this game doesn't feel as smooth.
Mm.
Um, Now I don't know what to chalk that up to. I don't know if it's just the fact that it's a beta, and they'll have it more optimized for when the full game comes out, or when we have the open beta. Um, but there is definitely a big difference because I went and played MW3 a little bit this morning to go and feel the difference too from it. And yeah, it's very noticeable.
Mm.
Um a lot more than I thought it was going to be. So yeah,
Yeah.
I get what you're saying there. I think people like they're just used to that super smooth, like buttery kind of movement. Um which this game does have for sure, and it probably will have, but it is different. It's
Yeah,
not.
yeah. It's
It's in
not
a
gonna
different
be
realm.
like MW3 or
No.
MW2 because I mean it's just they're using different engines
Yeah.
and like the lagginess or like slowness of what we are complaining about. I think I'm just chalking that up to it being the beta, um,
Yeah.
and our like connections and stuff. Because like when I went and played like alone, it was fine, and then it was, but like it still felt like not as like laggy and like slow. I don't know how to describe it, but
Yeah.
um yeah, like I'm chalking it up completely to the beta because I remember when Cold War came out and when Vanguard came out too, the beta. I know there's two completely different games, but it felt like that. And then when
Yeah.
the game came out, it was way smoother.
Yeah.
So,
No, totally. So we'll have to wait and see. Again, maybe they have it smoothed out for this open beta, or we're just gonna have
mhm,
to wait till the game comes out.
mhm,
Um, but yeah, overall, bro, like again, I'm a big fan of it. I'm gonna be playing a little bit more probably today, and then obviously definitely during the open beta, just trying to make sure that I got my shit together with it because there's gonna be a learning curve to it, but I'm really, really happy with it. And I was happy too with the maps that they put out here. So they only gave us 4 maps. Um, and I thought they gave us 3 because dude, Rewind, bro, like when I first
mhm,
started, I like never got this map in my rotation. I don't know
mhm.
about you,
I
but
played it. Yeah, it's a store.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like when I first came out, like the first or was it maybe second day I was playing, I like never got this map. I didn't see it. And probably too because like with the map voting, like when the game ends, it's fast.
Mhm,
Like people already in there, like it's already voted, and it's like, oh yeah, 10 seconds. Okay, you're right into the next game.
mhm.
Um,
Most people
and
don't vote rewind.
oh yeah, yeah, exactly.
I
That's
wouldn't
why.
vote rewind out of the maps that we have. So,
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
yeah.
But that being said, though, it's not that bad of a map.
Mhm,
Like because the ones that were voted over for sure, were Rewind and Scud.
mhm,
Those maps, I was okay on them. Rewind is fucking hard to see. Like
mhm,
it's hard to see on that map. Scud is. I saw somebody tweeted about it today. They said it's like Modern Warfare 3 map or like an MW2 kind of map, and I totally agree. I was like, that
Yeah,
does seem like it's in that realm. Um,
it's a dome
so
basically.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's like giant dome.
Mhm.
Um, but then the other ones they had Skyline and Derelict, phenomenal maps.
Mhm.
Like I absolutely love those maps. I've played those maps more than any of them, and I'm sure you have too.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, those are phenomenal maps. I'd say from the beta for me, like rating those, it would be 100% Skylines number 1, Derelict number 2, probably Rewinds number 3, and then Scud at number 4.
Yeah, I would agree. Skyline's definitely my favorite map in this beta, and I mean, out of all the 4 maps too, like these maps aren't like Scud and Rewind. Scud's the least favorite, I would say, for most people that have played the beta, but I wouldn't say it's like a bad map. I just think you need to learn how to play it a little bit differently. I don't know how to describe it because like when there's a bad map. Like you load into
Right,
the game, and
right.
even if you do well on it, and the way that you do well on it, it's still not good enough for you to justify that this is a good map. The only annoying part about Scud is where you go. There's like a head glitch at the top of the satellite, and you can just overlook the rest of the map. That needs to be like fixed, like somehow. Um, whether that's they put like they make the barrier a little bit higher so you don't see everything, or like they adjust the spawns a little bit because they can just watch you spawn. And one thing about the spawns, because I don't want to get into it too much, yeah, the spawns are like, I wouldn't say they're insanely messed up, but it's a fucking beta, so I'm not really expecting anything. And also too, these maps are pretty small. Uh, like so again, the spawns could be way better, yes, but the maps are also pretty small. So there isn't that many places where they can just put you. But like specifically, what's it, derelict
Yes.
or however you say it. Yeah, the spawns on that map god awful because if you get stuck in the train
You're
cars,
fucked.
yeah, it's just you're
You could
screwed.
sit on like on
Yeah,
the top of that building there, or you could sit on the other side, like on the other
yeah, yeah,
train cart, and just there's only 2 ways to get out of there from
yeah,
where you
yeah.
spawn.
And you're
Yeah,
playing a decent team, you're screwed.
oh yeah, it's over.
Yeah, but yeah, like I don't get into spawns too much just because it's every year. Like everyone says, spawns need to be adjusted. Yeah, it's a beta. Like I didn't expect anything about that.
I yeah, I definitely, I ignore those comments when I see them online because there were plenty of them being like, "Another year of terrible spawns and everything." I'm like, "Dude, shut the fuck up." Like,
Yeah,
you're saying this, and I'm like, "Did you not listen to homie in the beginning being like, this
yeah,
is a beta?'
yeah.
Did you not listen to this man?" Like, they're gonna take the feedback. They obviously know the spawns are bad. I'm sure they just, they kind of wanted to throw like a general idea of,
Hmm.
where they want them. Um, but yeah, I'm not worried about that. The maps again, to your point, which we definitely want to make clear about that. Like Scud being a map that I don't really like that much. Again, in the context of this game and the other ones that we have right now, I'd rank it the lowest. I still think that map over time, I mean, depending on everything else that we end up seeing when we have the open beta, um, I think it's going to be a fine map. I think it's just
Hmm.
going to be like, it is what it is. Um, it's not like you see that and it's a bad map.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Like I don't know. Like I'd probably take that map over like some MW3 maps. It's just out of the 4 maps that they gave us, they're not bad or anything.
like
It's just
Piccadilly's a bad map.
yeah, yeah.
You
Like
know,
these
Arc
maps
Off
are
Peak is a bad map.
yeah, like these maps are solid.
Yeah.
Skyline and Derelict are just the 2 better out of the 4 that they gave us. So,
Y-
uh, look, I'm just happy with these maps. I'm happy with the color of the game too, for the most part. Again, Scud though is like tan and
Gray.
gray, but you're also it seems like you're in like a desert. So
Yeah. There's not much color they can add there.
yeah, yeah.
But, but now I Yeah, Scud's one. Derelict again is a lot of color. Um and same thing with Rewind. Like it's got that Rewind to me looks like the most Black Ops, most Cold War map.
Mhm.
Like it's kind of got this like grayish undertone to it. Which I don't mind, but we talked about this before. Man, there's sometimes in this, I don't know if other people felt this. Maybe I'm just getting old. Dude, it is hard to see some people.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I struggled with this at times. That's like the one thing I actually don't mind about Scud is because everything's like sand colored, and then
Mhm.
you've got these characters where they definitely stand out. Um, but dude, there were times people laying down like when you come off spawn like in Derelict, like from the trains, and you just walk straight through that little like gateway there,
Mhm.
dude. The amount of people who are off in spawn laying down
Yeah,
like
yeah.
in like on that whack head glitch, bro. I never see those people. Like I ADS and I barely see them, and then they
Mhm.
piece me. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah, I think they need to increase um the time limit of like your name tag appearing,
yeah,
or like just showing the name tag like right away, which I think if they increased the name tag limit of when you see the person, it'll help. But yeah, I do agree. Like this is the first COD I've ever tried adjusting my color settings because I had such a hard time seeing. And again, these maps are small too,
yeah.
which I like small maps, but the fact that I was having a hard time seeing people on both all these maps for the most part. I was like, okay, either I'm getting old or I need to change these color settings.
Right.
And I like just adjusted them a little bit. Uh Honestly don't know if that's gonna help or not, but
Placebo
like
effect.
yeah, it's a placebo. I truly think a lot of the settings in the new CODs now are all placebo. We've we'll go on that tangent, but there's just so many goddamn settings where it's like, oh, do this, do that, do this, and again, doesn't mean those settings are gonna work for you.
Yeah, and I think this is one where I didn't look at any settings videos. Granted, I didn't have to because again, it was nice that a lot of this stuff transferred over.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I didn't want to fuck with anything. I just kind of
Yeah.
left it exactly how it was. I took your word on it. Just like leave it, and then from there, if I have a real problem, I can go and adjust. But
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have much of an issue. I think the only thing I adjusted was my sensitivity because I had it. Usually I play on like right now I was trying 7.7 and that was just way too much. So now I play on 7.6
Mm-hmm.
and I find that a little bit easier. But yeah, I haven't had to make much adjustments with it, which has been honestly it's been a relief.
Yeah.
Um, but I will say though, like overall with these maps, they gave us 4 really good maps. If every map is like Skyline, I'm fucking here for it. Like I
Mm-hmm.
think that map is insanely good. I like all the levels to it. I like the colors. I like the setting of it. The spawns on that map, they're serviceable for the beta. Um, yeah, I can't really complain.
Yeah, no, me either. It's funny. So all these maps, well, the four maps that they added, they remind me of maps from like other CODs. So like Scud, for example, that layout is kind of just dome to me. It also looks like dome. Skyline, when I played it, it might just be the colors and the way it looks, but it reminds me of Hijacked from Black Ops 2, where you're on
Yeah,
the
no,
boat.
totally. Yeah.
Uh, and then Derelict reminded me of the what is that forest map from BO4, where you're like hopping around the trees. I'm gonna find it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, I can't remember the name of it,
I'm forgetting now too. I know what you're trying to say though. But
but
that's a
that's
good
what it
point
looks
though.
like. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
No-
Rewind reminds me of uh Redwood. That's a map.
yes, yes, yes,
Yeah, yeah.
Redwood. That was a
Yeah.
great map by the way.
Yeah. And then Rewind reminds me of the most recent like MW3 map, the store one. I don't know the
Yeah.
name of it.
Oh, departures,
Departures. Yeah,
departures,
yeah. That's
departures.
what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
So it might just be the colors. Uh Scud and Skyline. definitely remind me of like what I correlated to, like especially the
Mhm.
map layout too. I could be tripping, but
No, you're
when I
not
was playing
tripping.
them, I was like, "Whoa, this is weird."
I didn't even make that connection, but now that you say it, like, definitely, specifically the hijacked and Skyline one, like, I for sure
Mhm.
see that, it's just got that similar kind of vibe, Someone's gonna be listening to this, being like, "Dude, one's on a fucking boat." I'm like, "Shut up,"
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
like, the whole color and, like, overall situation, I see it.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, but these ones, like, compared to the ones from MW or MW2, like, from those older ones, like, they're just, yeah, different flavor on them. I think some of them are a little bit better,
Mhm.
um, but they're just different. Like, I'm surprised. Like, my last thing on the maps is I was surprised how small those two maps were. Like, Skyline is it's a little bit bigger. Um, but again, I was kind of surprised that Skyline and Derelict are so small.
Mhm.
And it makes me wonder what we're gonna get for the other maps coming out, because I wonder if like that's their version of small maps, and they're like, okay, well, the other one is like you know a medium-sized map? Like, have we gotten any
Mhm.
medium-sized maps or large-sized maps? Like, I really
Mhm.
don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, or the because the biggest map was probably Rewind, and then Scud, then Derelict, then Skyline. But it could be the other way around, where Skyline and Derelict are the medium-sized maps, and we haven't gotten the small map.
Bro, if that's the case, we're cooked.
Like it's, dude, you gotta be fast. Like
Yeah.
you're constantly in action, which I do like.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I mean, like these maps are bigger than Nuketown.
Yeah. Oh,
Nuketown's considered a small map,
yeah.
so is this also like are those considered small maps in between small and medium? Like who
Right.
knows? But
Right.
regardless, the four maps are they're pretty good.
Mhm.
I don't know how many more maps are gonna add in the open beta. My guess is they're gonna add maybe 2 to 3 more. Uh,
Um, I believe they I believe they said, I'm gonna go see if I can pull it up, because I thought they were going to they mentioned which ones they were gonna have.
mhm,
But I could be wrong. Um uh Not right now. Yeah, I can't find it right now. I think they did already figure out which ones they were going to have. Like, they made a banner about it.
mhm.
But I don't believe they've shown anything in the way of gameplay of
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
So it's just gonna be kind of left up to us as to what, probably sometime this week. They'll go and put out some stuff to hype it up for the beta. And they'll showcase them and show the map layout, and give a little bio on them.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I'm gonna be excited for them, because man, if they're as good as these ones, then we're already off to a good start.
Yeah, I mean this
You know?
this beta is great. Everyone's been having a good time playing it. People have been grinding it. This game's very easy to play, like
Yeah.
alone.
Oh
So
yeah.
I'm looking forward to this year.
Yeah.
And we can touch on, so the level cap was 20 for this
Mhm.
beta, which is
Not
nothing.
high enough.
That's nothing after 1250
Yeah.
going to 1250. But the leveling is pretty good in this. The weapons in this game are pretty fun.
Mhm.
Uh, I would say the best gun in the game is the Jackal, which is a
Yep.
sub. I think you could argue the AK-74, because I've been seeing a lot of people use that thing, and that thing beams and it's super
Mhm.
strong. But I I I think the subs in this game are better than the ARs. Like that's my stance right now.
Yeah, I see. I'm in between right now, because I've been using the Jackal a lot. I don't know what level I have it at, but it's pretty high. Like, for my standards at least. It's not obviously max level. I mean, like, I'm not doing that just now. But I've been using the Jackal a lot. I was using last night. I was using the XM 4. I
Mhm.
was using that one quite a bit. Um, because that one, like, I honestly like that one. It was the same gun that was in Cold War. Um, and I saw a lot of people using that one, and I feel good with that. However, there were some builds that I was seeing. Um, I think one of them I was seeing was from Beans. Um, and I was like, oh, let me go try that out. And then I'm like, I think my gun was like level 15 or something. And I was looking through, I'm like, okay, don't have that yet. Don't have that. Don't have that. I'm like, okay, I got to use this gun a lot more.
Mm.
So I'm kind of in that process. Like I just need to use the gun more and play around with the attachments that they've got. Which I will say this because I don't won't again won't rant on it, dude. The fact that there are way less attachments in this game, hallelujah.
Yeah.
Like and also I mentioned to you, it's so nice that everything is vertical when you're going to scroll through instead of the horizontal. Like that needs to just go. It's
Mhm.
so dumb and it's impossible to see. And then of course, when you get to the end, then it like sends you all the way back. It's so nice that everything's just laid out there for you. And there's only like I think maybe like the ones that have the most are the red dots or your reticles. There's maybe like 15 or something like that,
Mhm.
16. Could be a little bit more, but it doesn't it doesn't go beyond the screen. There's no like down arrow to keep going.
Yeah, yeah. The rest of the attachments are like 4 to 5
Right.
for in each category. Yeah, the optics is way longer, but the only thing is that I haven't seen a regular red dot, which is interesting to me.
Mhm.
Um
I agree.
a lot of it, like I've seen a lot of people using like hollows
Yeah.
instead of red dots because there isn't really a red dot in this. And I hope that's not the case because I don't like any of the sites in this game right now. There's one that's like sort of clean, but it's more of an ACOG site,
Mhm.
and I don't want to be using that. But you know,
Yeah, I'm with you on that. There is no just basic square, red
yeah,
dot. It's like they've got like a whole bunch of the hollows, and then same thing with I saw some of the ones in the default classes, like they've got a bunch of ACOGs. Um, and to this point, I don't even know if this is the full list of them. I'd assume that it is. I'd honestly be surprised if when we get the game, they're like, okay, yeah, there's also 12 more grips that you can use. Like that would kind of piss me off. I'd be like,
hmm
man, just keep it the way it is. It makes it so much simpler. And then it's easy too to play around with. You have 4 or 5 grips, you could try those in a game.
hmm
You're not going to do that if you've got 25 grips, it's just not going to
yeah,
happen.
and I'm sure it probably varies on like weapon too,
Yeah.
because I'm sure there are some ARs where you can add, you know, there are specific like optics you can use for them, or there's way more grips for an AR than a sub, things like that. But overall, though, the massive improvement from recent games of the quantity of attachments that you can add into this. It's you can just pick your loadout, go, and you're good.
Yeah,
There isn't
exactly.
too many options, but yeah, overall though, I would say the gunplay is really fun in this game. Uh, I like all the weapons in it. I used the MP5, the Jackal, the XM4, AK-74. I at level 20 you unlock the Ammos, I think. Right, it's like another AR. I haven't used that. I
Yeah,
use
the
that.
the, the Amos 85.
Yeah, Amos. Yeah,
Yeah.
I or Ames. The
Amos.
Ames.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's probably the
Amos.
Amos. But I use that in the default class in the beginning, and like that was a pretty decent AR.
Yeah, I like that one
But
too.
I still think the Jackal is insane
Oh
compared to the
yeah.
ARs, which is interesting because I feel like in the since 2019 the ARs have been better.
Yeah.
Like they've been blessed. But in this, well, it could just be because the Jackal is just insanely OP. Uh, but yeah, I think the sub's insane.
I think so too. And we'll have to see if they take any notes on it and they end up patching that thing and absolutely nerfing it into oblivion because it could be terrible, you
Yeah.
know. Yeah, because I mean, obviously, I like that gun a lot. The MP5, or I think in this game, it's um, the C9. That's an easy one to remember, right?
Mm.
Yeah, that one, that's a good gun. But again, it pales in comparison. Um, so again, with the weapon balancing and stuff, like right now, it's pretty obvious. Like there's a 2 or 3 gun meta right now that people have been using. Like, I mean, again, the Jackal you said is the clear front runner. And then after that, it's either the Ames or the AK-74. Again, there's some people like I'm not really too sure. The XM4, like I kind of heard that was one of the better ones.
Mm.
Um, but I think now people are just trying to play around with all of them and just see maybe there's some sleeper build that they can make where this gun turns out to be
Mhm.
insane.
Yeah. No, I think the XM4 is the best AR that
Yeah.
in this when you unlock it right away.
Yeah.
But like the AK-74 is really good if you have the right attachments on it. It kills so fast. Uh,
Yeah.
but speaking of killing fast, I think that's one thing I'd like to see them improve. Is I wish the health wasn't 100 and it was 150 because it would make the game slower. I guess I like a fast game, but I think that 150 health would help out a ton. Uh, I know that supposedly they took away headshot multiplier. I've seen that, like multiple people saying that. I'm just going with that. It's true because
Right.
personally, I haven't been dying from headshots like that quick.
Hmm.
I also haven't been killing anyone with headshots that fast.
Yeah, I
So,
noticed that too.
which if that's the case, I'm cool with that. I like that a lot because headshot multiplier cheese is 100% a thing.
Oh yeah,
And
it was
yeah,
total bullshit.
yeah, and then they also mentioned that by the Treyarch, they said that they are looking to take away the different type of aim assists. So there's like standard, uh, dynamic, and then I think inverted one. I could be
Okay.
completely wrong, but S curve. Everyone
S curve.
plays dynamic. It's just slightly better. And Treyarch doesn't want like options for that. They want everyone to be on an even playing field. And that also creates another skill gap. So if everyone is just playing on standard, like aim assist, you can't really, you can't complain.
Yeah, you're not getting some cheese doing that, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. There definitely needs to be a movement to get rid of a lot of this extra stuff that people are just trying to use and trying to find
Mm-hmm.
like some secret settings and stuff. Um, Again, we've gone on about it before. I think it's just unnecessary and it makes the game way too complicated. Like people forget, like Call of Duty's an arcade shooter. You know, like it's not some hyper realistic game here. So there, it should be pretty just bare bones with that
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Um, and again, I think at that point it creates that skill gap, like you're saying, where you just got to get good. It's not like
Mm-hmm.
you're going to be, like a good player and then you all of a sudden switch to dynamic and that was the missing link for you.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather it be that everybody's on an even playing field.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope that they stick with it, but
Yeah. No, I do too, because I want to go back to if, I mean, we'll never go back to truly with no skill based matchmaking, but if they can take away the um, headshot multiplier, even playing field, someone shoots you first and they have a better shot than you, you're supposed to die. And
right.
then this aim assist thing, like it's always been a conversation since 2019. They take that away. We're on an even playing field. Um, but the next thing they could do is take away skill base, but that's definitely not going to happen.
Yeah, no chance.
uh,
No chance.
but I'm fine with the other two being removed because there is a skill gap in this already, like the aiming and the movement on top of that.
Yeah.
And a couple of my friends from college pre-ordered this game and they were playing it, and
Oh, hell yeah.
they they've complained about how hard it is to aim in this. I'm like, get better, because
Yeah.
that's I wouldn't say every COD, but like just get better, because they're like, how are you killing people so fast? Like, you just got to get better. I don't know what to tell you.
Dude, I'll tell you this side note, bro. You ever heard of that game Time Splitters?
Yeah, yeah.
So I'd never played this game, right? Time Splitters 2,
Hmm.
one of my friends was like, dude, it's one of the best games ever. Like, you have to play it. I was like, all right, I'll take your word for it. That's high praise.
Hmm.
Dog, the aiming in that game is hard. Like, bro, I'm trying to like actually, I have to hold a controller to think about this. If you're like looking at somebody, like you aim L2, which is normal, and
Hmm.
you look at them like with your body, but if you have the right stick, right? And if you go in like, in every other game, if you just push the right stick there, it stays there when you're
Mhm.
aiming. Dude, in this game, if you do
It
that and then you let go of it, it goes back.
yeah, it
So you have to
recenters.
like, yeah, so you
Yeah.
have to have this perfect way to be doing it. And of course, your guy, like, he's like that when he's aiming.
Yeah.
So he's not just like perfectly still. That shit's hard.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, people who are good at time splitters, bro, you'd be cracked at Black Ops 6. Like, go play like your friends, go tell them to play that game and talk about complaining about, dude, it's so hard to aim. Bro,
Yeah.
Black Ops 6 ain't that hard to aim.
It's
You just gotta get good, bro. That's all
yeah.
it is.
No, you just gotta get better. That's
Gotta play more.
yeah, you gotta play more. And the aim assist isn't gonna like help you that much, especially if you're playing against someone with decent movement. They're I've already had my like head spun around on
Yeah.
Skyline where someone like dives over me and then I'm like, holy shit, it just kills me. But um I have a feeling that this game's going to do really, really well for competitive. I think a lot of people that have been following COD for a while will like it, but I think the very, very casual people that hop on, a couple days a week with their friends or like they only play during the weekend, they're going to have a fucking hard time with this. Like, or the old heads that just refuse to adapt, because we are the old heads. Just get better. Like
Yeah,
just
there's gonna be a real gap. And
just
again,
adjust, man.
and it seems like this is a COD too, where like you're saying, if you don't put in the time with it, it's gonna be very hard. Like, and it's gonna be very evident that you haven't put in the time.
Mm,
Because of that movement. Like, that's going to be, again, we keep saying it, it is going to be a skill gap.
mhm,
Like it already is. But it's just going to get worse and worse. Like, we know we're going to get to that point with it where we'll be cooking with the Omni movement. Um, but even right now, like, there's the people who are playing, like, I see they play 8, 10, 12 hours a day. They've been
mm,
grinding this. Obviously, I'm like, this person's insane. Like, they're so good at this and they know how to use it really well.
mm.
Um, we're not there yet, but we'll
Yeah,
get
yeah,
there.
yeah. We we haven't hit our peak yet in the
No,
movement. We're
no.
learn how to use it effectively for our play style.
Yeah.
But uh I think after playing this beta, if we went back and played MW3 and the movement there, we're gonna be way better just because it's gonna feel so slow.
Yeah. It feels
So
so
slow.
easy.
Yeah. Uh
You know?
so nothing but good things about the beta for the most part. Again, I think there are a couple things that they can tweak, like the colors or seeing people. I think that could be adjusted. That I think they definitely could do. Obviously, nerf a couple things like the jackal because
Yep.
that should be nerfed. Um, they're not going to remove tax sprint, so I won't ask for that. Because if that was a thing, that'd be great. But yeah, like I mean, overall, I'm having a blast with this. I can't wait for the next weekend for the open beta. So people that haven't pre-ordered this game, like all the regular people, come try the game out because I think it's going to be eye-opening for
Yeah.
a lot of people. Like I think if we played with your did your friend pre-order the game?
No. He's
He
on
is
the
going to
fence.
get cooked.
He's on the fence. He's like, man, I don't know. I'm just kind of tired of Call of Duty.
He should
I
play
said, bro, this one's way different. He's like, I might get it. I'm like, trust me,
just
bro.
try the open beta. But he
Yeah.
might get cooked. Like
Yeah.
bad.
I mean, bro, like, I told you my whole situation this morning, dude. I was
Mhm.
rethinking my whole life. I
Yeah.
was like, I just couldn't. The skill base is sometimes it's crazy, and then the
Mhm.
next couple, like even the next game after that, I was still getting cooked, and then the third game, that's when I had a decent one. I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
I'm like, dude, and that's us.
Yeah. Yeah.
People listen like this guy barely plays. Like, I think he's
Yeah.
maybe probably like level 60 in MW3 or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, bro, he ain't it. Like, it's not gonna happen.
He is a casual person that I'm like mentioning that only
Yeah.
plays with their friends like once a weekend.
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like that.
exactly. They're like when all the friends are like, "Dude, let's go play some Call of
Yeah,
Duty,"
yeah.
But at the very least, he should buy it, and most people should. If you're not like digging the multiplayer, dude, buy it for the zombies because I think the
Oh yeah,
zombies
yeah.
going to be great at the
I
very least.
I hope we get something with zombies in the
I
next
know,
open
dude.
beta.
I
I
know.
don't
I
think we
know.
will because
I don't think so either.
they don't want to spoil anything. But I mean, we got our hands full with multiplayer anyways. Multiplayer's been fun. Um,
Right.
I'm excited for this game. Treyarch again did not disappoint.
No, not at all. Yeah, I'm in the same boat too. Like again, wrapping it up. Like I'm really curious to hear what people think about the beta or listening. If you guys agree, disagree, with any of the points that we made, or anything about it, like other stuff maybe that we forgot to mention. About why the last thing I will say, one thing I am really looking forward to this, which I did not ever think I was. I think there's going to be, I call it now, I think there's going to be a resurgence of funny Call of Duty videos where people are going to be memeing with that human shield thing.
Yeah.
Cause bro, that shit is already hilarious.
Hmm.
The clips that I've seen, side note, Boston Breach, you see their clip that they
Yeah,
did?
yeah, I did.
Blew
Yeah.
up. Like that thing was so funny. And there's going to be so many more people like that are just trolling with it because
Hmm.
of the voice chat. Yeah, I love that stuff. I
Yeah.
hope that those funny like Call of Duty videos come back with something like that.
Hmm. Yeah. I was a victim to the meat shield for
Aw.
one time only.
Were they talking to you?
Yeah. Yeah. They were like, "You like this? Do you like this?" I'm like, "Just kill me, man." Well, what? It was funny. I didn't die from it. My teammate killed the guy,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
then I died right after the enemy came.
yeah.
But it was funny.
I did it once, but I was in party chat.
Mhm.
You know,
Oh yeah, so you couldn't talk to them.
yeah, I
Yeah,
couldn't talk to him.
I.
I didn't even mean to do it. I
Oh
like
yeah,
I
yeah,
went,
yeah.
yeah, I like ran up behind him and I was like, oh shit,
Hmm.
I got a kill with it, which was cool. But
I haven't attempted it yet. Like the opportunity hasn't came for me to do it. Uh,
not me either.
Also, I'm just not thinking about it. Like I just think I just if someone's their back is to me, my instant reaction is shoot them and kill them and just move to the
Yeah,
next. But no, I do want to try it. I haven't done it yet.
yeah.
But yeah,
But
no,
yeah,
that's
I mean, again, they got funny shit. They got the winner circle back again too. So they got all the comedy stuff, and then they got all the fundamentals down. So I
mhm,
mean, dude, just from this, from what we've got so far, like it's pretty much exactly what we were expecting. Like it already bangs.
mhm.
Um, so
Keep it
yeah,
going.
yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I'm already ready for the open beta.
Mhm.
And again, I'm sure everybody else that's had a chance to play with this early access beta is too.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, bro, I don't really got much else to say on it. I mean, it's fucking that's it.
it's
It's
it.
it's a banger.
Yeah, no, it's a good beta. They added like I mean, we've seen a couple of the camos. Camos are great.
Oh yeah,
You
those are
yeah,
great. Yep.
the winner circle. I can't wait for more emotes to come because they have like the default ones now. That yeah, they're
The-
good. Yeah, those are good. Best play of the game is there, which I mean, those are pretty cool too. I think it's funny that I remember when they took away Final Kill Cam and they added Best Play, people were like furious about it. But then they went back to Final Kill Cam, and then you get this like lame ass Final Kill. Um,
Yeah, no, it's just better because I remember when we were playing, I had some insane clip, insane clip in my eyes on Skyline. I was like, "Oh, dude, check this out! Like, I hope they have it." And then I saw my name. I was like, "Yeah, bro, you gotta see
yeah,
this." Like because I knew that shit was good. It was like a
mm,
5 on or something. So it's nice to see that instead of again, like you said, some lame guy who's like dead last on the team turns to the right
yeah,
and I'm like, dude, I got a triple kill like headshot with a sniper rifle, bro. Show that shit,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know.
Uh,
But
but yeah, those are just little things that Treyarch has added that I mean they originally had before, right?
right,
And now they're bringing it back. It's good. I can't wait for all the other stuff that they're gonna add in the future. Like if there's a funny emote, there might be a chance in this game they might get my money for like a really funny emote. We'll see. That's
no promises.
very unlikely, but if there's something that's really good,
If there's anybody
might
that's going
have
to do it, it's Treyarch.
Yeah, exactly. Because I was close to buying the WWE one and the Gundam one from
Yeah.
MW3. Very close, but did not pull trigger on those.
Yeah, the willpower kicked in. You're like, no, it's not worth it.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'd have that for what, like 3 months, and then the new
Yeah.
game.
No, it's not worth it at all.
Yeah,
At that point, screw it.
yeah.
But yeah, man, I don't really got much else to say unless you have anything else you want to add before we wrap this up.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I mean, let us know if you guys have played. I mean, by the time you guys listen to this episode, the early access is done and open beta is done. So let us know what you think of the overall beta if you played it.
Yeah.
And rank the maps for us, because I wonder what everyone's opinion is going to be about that. Actually, I do think open beta, they're adding face off, so you and I got to hop into that and play those face offs. I wonder if it's going to be like 2v2 or 3v3, but I'm looking forward to that because now
I'm hoping it's 2v3, bro.
2v3.
I'm like, we'll take them on. Fuck them.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that.
That'd be cool. Hell yeah, dude. And again, if we have a little, like we did in Cold War, have a little bracket system.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I hope they bring that back. That'd be so fun.
Yeah, we go through the tournament. I'm like, where the fuck is this?
Yeah, they need to bring that. Oh, actually, last thing. Speaking of tournament, I've heard that season 1 they're launching with ranked right out the
I heard
gate,
this too,
which is fantastic because Treyarch they created the rank system for MW2 and MW3.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they're going to keep the same layout and like how it is, or if they're going to adjust it for their game and like revamp it. But either way, I trust Treyarch, right? So
yeah, no, I trust them too with it. Yeah, I mean, we'll just have to wait and see what they end up doing. But the fact that they announced that, again, it's just we're getting W after W with them, and that's what we got with this beta.
We're getting a good game. This is a year. We're getting a good game.
This is the year. 100%. So again, let us know what you end up thinking about the open beta, about this beta, the whole thing in general. Have you convinced any friends to go buy it? Because I'm in the process of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think that's it, bro. Huh?
Yeah.
So again, everybody, thank you for listening to episode 186 of the COD Casuals podcast. Again, be sure to go to anchor.fm/COD Casuals. We're on all streaming platforms, as well as going to the YouTube to go and leave a comment and subscribe there, of course, as well as going to Instagram and TikTok. If you don't watch the full episode, you can just go over there and watch the shorts. And of course, going to Twitter or X, because we're pretty much posting there daily, as well as joining the COD Casuals community over there, since Justin and I have been talking in there quite a bit, and we're going to keep on yapping in there when we have the open beta. So be sure to join up and join the conversation. And I think that's it.
Yeah.
So again, everybody, thank you for listening to episode number 186 of the COD Casuals podcast. We're your host, Mike.
I'm Justin.
And we'll see you guys next week. Take it easy, everybody.
See ya.